Alright, 3C. This is Mr. Wong speaking. Before this video, you should have watched the video for the answers for page 163 to 166, the one that you have to add dollars and then followed by cents. That's the mental calculation one. So today, for today's lesson, we will be looking at how to do addition of money, same thing, but now we will use working. Okay, and this is much easier, and this is what you are more familiar with because it has a lot of similarities with addition of whole numbers that you have learned like in term 1 and also I think in P2 as well. So this lesson is pretty fast. It's very straightforward, so I'm just going to focus on the habits that people will probably make careless mistakes on. All right, so let's get the ball rolling. This is page 167 to 170. Alright, so I'm just gonna demonstrate how to get this done. It's actually very simple. Let's look at part A and part B. Okay, so let's start with part A. Let me zoom in so for you to see. Alright, so part A. So when you want to add two quantities of money in together, all you do is do like what you have always been doing. Usually I'll put the bigger quantity on top. Okay, I'll put the larger quantity on top. And then I'll put the smaller one at the bottom. Of course, you can put a smaller one on top. It is fine, but usually for me, I'll put the larger one on top, followed by the smaller one at the bottom. Okay, because I won't confuse it when later on when I move on to subtraction, because it's always big minus small. So I'll just, as a habit, always put the bigger number on top and the smaller number at the bottom. So what happens that make sure you align them correctly. All right, make sure you align them. Okay, I use different colors. Make sure you align them. Okay, you don't anyhow put them in any way you want. Please align them accordingly. And the most important thing here is also your decimal point. Okay, in P4 you will learn this in more detail, but mainly you have been exposed to this. Make sure your decimal point is there, your decimal point is there, and your decimal point is there, and you realize they are all in the same alignment. They are not like away from each other, they're all in the same alignment. So for money, one of the habits you need to develop is that you need to put all your numbers in alignment according to place value. Alright, so with that, I think it's quite straightforward. Just add like how you add normal numbers. So 5 plus 0 gives me 5. Okay, and then move on to the next place value. Okay, let me shift this first. Okay, and then after that 2 plus 7 will give you 9. Shift it over here a bit. Alright, and then decimal point, you don't have to add the decimal point, you just bring the decimal point down. You don't have to say 1 decimal point plus 2 decimal point give you 2 decimal points. No, just bring it down. And then after that, move on to the next place value. 5 plus 2 give you 7. It's quite straightforward. And then don't forget your dollar sign. Okay, some of you are asking me how to put dollar sign. It's actually, you look at the button that is the number 4, just need to shift. You just need to press shift and press 4 at the same time. You will get the dollar sign up. So the answer is $7.95. Okay, so this is really similar to what you have done before for whole numbers. There's nothing new to this. Just about the habits, about the alignment, and about the decimal point. Do not forget the decimal point, because once you forget the decimal point, you realize once you forget about the decimal point, it will be $795, which is something that you I'm not talking about. Okay, so this is definitely wrong. So this is what happens when you forget the decimal point, sorry. Okay, so make sure that the decimal point you also include. Okay, so it's quite straightforward. Just do another example with you. So later on you realize all these empty spaces are for you to do your working. So make sure you do your working. I do not want to just see the answer here. I want to see also the working. So let's do another one. Let's do for this. So simple. Let's write it down. So I'll put a bigger quantity up. So $6.55. Maybe I space them apart so it's easier for you to see. Okay, and then I add $1.30, $1.30, put them in alignment, align them properly, and then you put in the addition sign because you're adding. Right, then you draw a line. Alright, something like that. Okay, so you can start adding. So similarly, start with the smallest base value. 5 and 0 give me 5. 5 and 3 give me 8. Alright, okay, you have the decimal point here. And decimal point here, make sure you bring down the decimal point. So I'll just put a dot over here. And then after that, 6 and 1 give you 7. And then of course followed by the dollar sign in front. Something like that. Right, so the answer is $7.85. So you realize it is the same as whole numbers, just that now you have to take note of the alignment, you have to take note of the decimal point, you have to take note of the dollar sign. Okay, so this is of course you see without regrouping. Let's go to one that involves regrouping. Okay, so now looking at page 168, now let's do one with regrouping. So I'll do A and B with you, I'll leave you to do the rest. So same thing, like what we said before, start from the smallest base value. So 5 give you 10, and then you know you need to regroup. So 5 give you 10, the 1 is on top here. So you realize it's the same as whole numbers, nothing new. So the 1 is over here regrouping. So 1 plus 5, 6, 6 plus 1 is 7. Okay. Alright, decimal point, bring down, which I've done for you. So 2 plus 2 give you 4. And then nothing plus 1 give you 1. Of course with the dollar sign later. Alright, so answer is $14.70. Okay, so it's very simple. Basically, like what they say at the side, add the cents and add the dollars. Basically, it's what you have done when you add numbers together. So one last example I'm going to do with you, part B. So for me, usually, like what I said just now, I add the bigger number. I'll put a bigger number on top. So $70. Let's space them out. $70.25. Okay. I add the $5 and okay, let's put a dollar sign in first. $5.65. Like that. Okay, so I put them in alignment, make sure it's aligned, something like that. Okay, I need one more space over here, something like that. Yeah, right. So $70.25 plus $5.65. Put in the plus, always remember to put in the operation that you're doing, and then the line. Alright, so let's start doing. 5 and 5 will give me 10. So this is actually 0. And then there's a regrouping of 1. So the 1 will be up here, above the 2. Okay, so same thing. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 6 is 9. Make sure you bring down the decimal point. So there's a decimal point here, decimal point here, decimal point here. Just one decimal point will do. And then after that, 0 plus 5 is 5. And 7 plus nothing is still 7. And of course with the dollar sign after that. Okay, so answer is $75.90. $75.90. Right, so there's nothing new about this. The only thing new that is to take in consideration the alignment of the digits, the decimal point, and also the dollar sign. Okay, so it's actually the same as what you have been doing. So I think this homework you should have not much of a problem doing it. So make sure all the empty space is for working. Okay, 169 is done for you, the working part, just need to answer the question. And then of course 170, I want to see all my workings done. Okay, don't just tell me the answer. Okay, so with that, I'll leave you to do 167 to 170 by yourself on ClassKit as well as on hard copy. Alright, so then we'll discuss the answers on Wednesday. Thank you very much for your attention.